I guess it all began like this. Billy Dissatel, our keyboard player of many years, he and I played together in a group in New Orleans called Passport, and we did a lot of shows in the big hotels. We were kind of a convention group, and that group fizzled out, so I was kind of taking it easy for a while. And then one day he called me up and he said, "I want you to come and sing for this band called the Blue Meanies." And I said, "No." And he said, "Come on, man." And I said, "Well, dude, that's way over in Covington. I'm from Bucktown." And anyway, a few days later he called me back and he said, "Listen, I'll make a deal with you." He says, "If you come over and see this band and just hear them, and you still don't want to join after that, I'll let you off the hook, but not until you come and hear the Blue Meanies." So I said, fair enough, and went over to a club called the Tap Room in Covington, Louisiana, and there was the Blue Meanies up on stage, and the leader at the time was Tom Rodwig, and he invited me up on stage, and he handed me a song list. And I picked out one of my favorite old Beatles songs called "If I Fell." You know, "If I Fell," that one. And Tom looked at me and said, "You can sing that?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he said, "Well, which part, Lennon or McCartney?" And I said, "Well, you pick the part you want me to sing." And he got a little sarcastic and said, "You sing McCartney." I said, "Okay, let's go." So, of course, we did the song, and he didn't know that I knew it really well, and he knew the other part really well, and we pulled it off, and I left the stage thinking, this is a lot of fun, and I sure missed playing in a band. And on the way home that night, I decided, well, I'm going to give this group a chance and see what happens. So that was around the later part of '02, and here it is '09, and we're still Blue Meanies. Well, I guess you could say when I first started any instrument, it was a guitar. I was about 14, and about 3 or 4 months into playing the guitar, I had a small motorcycle accident. And after I got out of the cast, I had broken a wrist, and I'd lost some of the sensitivity in my middle finger, which was reaping havoc on playing the guitar. Simultaneously, an opportunity came down the street in one of the better sounding garage bands for a bass player. And there, those big thick strings on that bass offered me an opportunity because I could feel those strings. So I began being a bass player. And I guess 25 years later, I was a bass player, and then along came the Blue Meanies, and I put my bass down because they wanted a singer. And shortly after I was in the band, I was the acoustic guitar player on a few songs and really enjoyed that. So with Ralph's help, I was able to, provide a, let's just say, adequate second guitar to the Blue Meanies, and I really enjoy it. Ralph's even helped me out, and we do a little double lead together on a Billy Joel song, which I really enjoy. And with the Blue Meanies, sometimes toward the end of the evening, Johnny will pass me his bass, and I get to be a bass player again for a few songs, which I truly enjoy. But the guitar is more of a singing buddy to me, because as I'm learning and practicing reading and writing songs, it's more of a musical buddy than a bass for someone who enjoys singing, and that's me. We don't need no company, no other man, no other girl now. Well, it's not much of a secret. If anybody knows me, I am a follower of Paul McCartney. He's the one that infected me, and it all happened when I was about 5 years old. My oldest sister, who was one of the first kids on the block with a phonograph, she said, come here, and she put a pair of headphones on my head, and Love, Love Me Do came out, and it had a profound impact on me. And I can remember as a child going to the skating rinks and dancing on the skates with I Want to Hold Your Hand, and She Loves You, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I tell you, the Paul McCartney and John Lennon music to me is timeless, and it's always been a part of me, and I think it'll always be a part of me. If you want something to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Oh, 'cause baby, my time is too expensive. You know, at the risk of sounding corny, the biggest reward, for me, is to see people smiling while we're playing music. To see people just have that great, we remind them of a happy time, and they get to forget about their troubles for a while. And just for a couple of hours a night, we get to be a little bit more important to other people. And it's a very rewarding experience to look out at the crowd and see them dancing and cutting up and clapping, and it's something that really pleases my inner feelings to be a part of being able to make other people happy in a world that's got so much sadness and so much grief going on, and to be part of something happy. That's me. Don't play with my heart. It makes me furious. Oh, oh, oh. And if you want me to love you. 5 years. 5 years from now, I think instead of making, a couple hundred people happy at a time, I'd like to make a couple of thousand people happy at a time. And 5 years from now, the Blue Meanies might be a lot more powerful at making people happy and having people have a good time with us. I think that's a realistic goal, and I think that's a goal that would not only be rewarding to us as musicians, but it would be equally rewarding to the people who enjoy coming to see the Blue Meanies. And that's really what it's all about. There's not a whole lot more that I could really wish for without feeling a little guilty or or a little wishful. I'll be really trying, baby. All right, who's writing these questions? I want to know. One of my favorite things that really brings joy to me is we have actually been a part, and I joke about it on stage sometimes, but it's really true that we have been instrumental in providing an atmosphere where love is in the air. I wouldn't name them, but I could name 5 or 6 couples who met dancing to some of our silliness and some of our little love songs and some of our, smoochy songs, and they come around and they brag about us, and they come to see us for our anniversaries. There's several of them. There's more than several. Understand me, sugar. Since we've got to be here, let's live. Well, one of our favorite things to do, of course, is play live, and all the friendships that we've nurtured over the last few years has just blossomed. And I have a philosophy: you don't want to spend too much of your time hanging around with people that that aren't fun. So we try to be as fun as we can, and we really appreciate all you guys that's come out to see us and hanging out with us, and you are all very special to us. We really appreciate you coming, and we hope that you keep coming, and we're going to keep singing and keep playing. And thank you so much for tuning in to the thebluemeanies.net, and love you. See ya. I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me. That's the way it seems. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now
You reached Jimmy. Please leave a message.
At the tone, please record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
Hey, don't say anything stupid when Chaz interviews you tonight, okay?
if I tried
So in other words, just shut up, shut up, shut up.
more or less.
See you later, bye.
Seems the more I gave,